ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा, भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा, भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
संस्कृति का वैभव जग में सबसे न्यारा,
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
भारतीय संस्कृति का वैभव जग में सबसे न्यारा, ज्ञान और विज्ञान यहीं से सबने पाया सारा, सबने पाया सारा। कुछ भूलों से हारा फिर से जीते देश हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
शील सेवा व्रतधारी युवा जगे पुरुषार्थी,
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
त्यागशील सेवा व्रतधारी युवा जगे पुरुषार्थी, वैज्ञानिकता विनय सभ्यता स्वभाव हो निस्वार्थी, स्वभाव हो निस्वार्थी। देशभक्ति में तेजस्वी हो फिर समाज यह सारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
शिवाजी बुद्ध गगन के तारे,
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
महावीर गोविंद शिवाजी बुद्ध गगन के तारे, परंपरा की पुण्य चेतना उर में हम सब धारे, उर में हम सब धारे। बाल हृदय में उसे जगाकर जगे देश यह सारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
राष्ट्र समर्थ बनाओ।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
त्यागो सारी दुर्बलता को राष्ट्र समर्थ बनाओ। बंधु भाव समता ममता से सबको गले लगाओ, सबको गले लगाओ। चलो विवेकानंद मार्ग पर शुभ संदेश हमारा। गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा। भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, 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 गीता परिवार हमारा।
वदनं मधुरं नयनं मधुरं हसितं मधुरं हृदयं मधुरं गमनं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
वचनं मधुरं चरितं मधुरं वसनं मधुरं वलितं मधुरं चलितं मधुरं भ्रमितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
पाणिर्मधुरः पादौ मधुरौ नृत्यं मधुरं सख्यं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
मधुरं पीतं मधुरं भुक्तं मधुरं सुप्तं मधुरं रूपं मधुरं तिलकं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
तरणं मधुरं हरणं मधुरं स्मरणं मधुरं वमितं मधुरं शमितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
माला मधुरा यमुना मधुरा वीची मधुरा सलिलं मधुरं कमलं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
मधुरा लीला मधुरा युक्तं मधुरं मुक्तं मधुरं हृष्टं मधुरं शिष्टं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
मधुरा गावो मधुरा यष्टिर्मधुरा सृष्टिर्मधुरा दलितं मधुरं फलितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
मधुरं वदनं मधुरं नयनं मधुरं हसितं मधुरं हृदयं मधुरं गमनं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
वचनं मधुरं चरितं मधुरं वसनं मधुरं वलितं मधुरं चलितं मधुरं भ्रमितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
वेणुर्मधुरो रेणुर्मधुराः पाणिर्मधुराः पादौ मधुरौ नृत्यं मधुरं सख्यं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गीतं मधुरं पीतं मधुरं भुक्तं मधुरं सुप्तं मधुरं रूपं मधुरं तिलकं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
तरणं मधुरं तरणं मधुरं हरणं मधुरं स्मरणं मधुरं वमितं मधुरं शमितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
कुञ्जा मधुरा माला मधुरा यमुना मधुरा वीथी मधुरा सलिलं मधुरं कमलं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गोपी मधुरा लीला मधुरा युक्तं मधुरं मुक्तं मधुरं हृष्टं मधुरं शिष्टं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गोपा मधुरा गावो मधुरा यष्टिर्मधुरा सृष्टिर्मधुरा दलितं मधुरं फलितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं
अचरज निज मनु मुकुरु सुधारी बरनऊ रघुबर विमल जसु जोदायक फलचारी बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपी सति लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज संवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरतहि सम भाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावे अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सकै कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानू प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज संहारो आपे तीनों लोक हांकते कांपे भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता असवर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे अंत काल रघुबरपुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्तन धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा पवन तनय संकट हरन मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुर भूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय।
सच्चिदानंद नन्दं वासुदेवं व्रजप्रियं धर्मसंस्थापकं वीरम् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्
Jai Shri Krishna, everyone. A very, very, very warm welcome to all of you on this delightful evening for yet another interpretation session of the final part of first Adhyay, Arjun Vishad Yoga. With the blessings of our Param Pujya Gurudev, Swami Govind Dev Guriji Maharaj, we have been chosen by Krishna himself to be able to read Geeta, teach Geeta, and live Geeta. Monday to Friday, we learn the correct pronunciation of the shlokas, thus reading Geeta. Through various sevas and spreading this word about Geeta Ji and Geeta Parivar, we are participating into Teach Geeta. And every Saturday, Sunday, Geeta Parivar gives us an opportunity to be able to bring Geeta Ji to our lives and live Geeta. Today, we must start this session by bringing Krishna amongst us. And for that, I'm going to invite Vidhi Didi. Vidhi Didi is from Mumbai. She is a housewife and has joined Geeta Parivar in 2021. She finished all 4 levels of her Adhyay and is repeating level 3 for her own betterment of the pronunciation. Didi, welcome to say the prayer, please.
Thank you, Didi. Vasudeva Sutan Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum Shri Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum. Jai Shri Krishna to all. Sabhi ko Jai Shri Krishna.
Thank you, Didi. Jai Shri Krishna. What a lovely prayer. And now that Krishna is there with us, this little guiding light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. I'm going to let it shine. Let it shine all the time. We will start the session with Deep Prajalan. For that, I'm going to invite Ambili Ji, who's from Kerala. Ambili Ji is Head of Department of Computer Engineering, Government Polytechnic Engineering College. He's completed all 4 levels and is a co-trainer, examiner, translator, and anchoring team, part of anchoring team. Welcome for the Deep Prajalan, please.
निषिद्धैरप्येभिर्लुलितमकरन्दो मधुकरैः करैरिन्दोरन्तश्छुरित इव सम्भिन्नमुकुलः विधत्तां सिद्धिन्नो नयनसुभगामस्य सदसः प्रकीर्णः पुष्पाणां हरिचरणयोरञ्जलिरयम् शरदिन्दुनिभां शुभ्रवस्त्रैरलङ्कृतां कलहंसकृतावासां वरदां शारदां नुमः वरदां शारदां नुमः.
Thank you, Didi, for this beautiful divine darshan of Kanha in different form. It was so beautiful in this well-lit atmosphere. Now I am going to invite the Vivechak for today, Vikas Bhaiya. Vikas Bhaiya is part of Geeta Parivar since the very beginning. Vikas Bhaiya is a polyglot. He can speak more than 5 languages, but the best that he speaks is the language of Shri Bhagavan himself when he teaches us Geeta Ji, the correct pronunciation. He's part of the teaching team and the Vivechan team, not only of Geeta Ji, but also of Vishnu Sahasnam and Pune Parivar. Bhaiya is involved in teaching at all levels, and he aspires actually to teach Geeta Ji from level 1 to level 4 in all the slots available given to him. Bhaiya has been reciting all 18 chapters of Geeta Ji every single day for last 5 years. Also, now that he is going to interpret Arjun Vishad Yog for us, he has made it interesting by the small stories and examples that he gives for us to understand this otherwise little disturbing and difficult chapter. Welcome, Bhaiya.
जय श्री कृष्ण। पूज्य स्वामी जी के चरण कमलों में कोटि कोटि नमन। Today we are starting the last session of first adhyay. The remaining shlokas of first adhyay we will try to cover in today's session. Last time we had covered up to shlok number 25. Now we'll start from shlok number 26. Tatrapashya sthitan partha pitrunatha pita mahan Acharyan matulan bhratrun putran pautran sakhims tatha. Tatra means there. Apashyat means one could see, he could see. Sthitan is to get situated, to get standing somewhere, that is sthitan. Pitrun is a plural, pitrun means father like figures. Atha, also Pitamahan is grandfather. Acharyan, teachers. Matulan, what we call mama, that is maternal uncle. Bhartrun, brothers. Putran, sons. Pautran, grandsons. Sakhim, friends. Tatha means and. So there, Tatra, Arjun could see within the midst of both the armies, because his chariot was standing, Sena Yor Bhayor Madhe, between both the armies, the chariot was standing, and he could see on both the sides, on Kaurav's side as well as on Pandava's side, his fathers, that means fathers, some fathers standing on this side, some fathers standing on that side, not his father, but the people who are fathers of so many soldiers on either side. Grandfathers, teachers, maternal uncles, brothers, sons, grandsons, and friends. So Tatra Pashya Siddhant Partha Pitruratha Pitamahan Acharyan Matulan Bhartun Putran Pautran Sakim Stata. We'll take a part of shlok number 27 now. Shvashuran Surudashchaivo Senayorubhayorapi. In addition to that, what he could see there, Shvashuran, fathers-in-law, Surud, well-wishers. Senayorubhayorapi, the armies on both sides. Api is including on both sides. Tan, all of them. Tan Samiksha, after seeing Sarvan Bandhun Avasthitan, all relatives standing against each other. Shosharan Surudashtaiva Sene Yurubhairupi Tan Samiksha Kaunteya Sarvan Bandhun Avasthita. So he also saw his fathers-in-law, well-wishers. When the sons of Kunti Arjuna saw all these different kinds of friends and relatives, what happens to him? That will be described in the next shloka. But when the sons of Kunti sees all his friends and relatives who are now ready to fight with each other, he becomes overwhelmed with emotions, overwhelmed with his sentiments. Sorrowfully and wistfully, he asks Krishna, what is this happening? What is this happening? He was experiencing intense mental pain and anguish. See, the war was happening as a last resort. When all attempts to make peace had failed, the Pandavas had legitimate reasons to wage the war. Duryodhana was a symbol of unrighteousness, anger, extreme greed and egotism. This was Duryodhana. Arjuna knew all this very well. He had not forgotten the humiliation publicly inflicted on his dear wife Draupadi by the Kauravas, disrobing publicly his wife, trying to disrobe rather. But despite that, standing now in the battlefield and seeing his own kith and kin ready to kill each other on both sides of the armies, he gets filled with intense grief and deep compassion. Tortured by his downpour of sorrow, a deeply anguished and agonized Arjuna, he spoke like this to Krishna. What did he say? Krupaya paryavishto vishidannidam abravit. He said this. What he said in 20th shloka? Krupaya paryavishto vishidannidam abravit. Društvevam swajanam Krishna yutsum samupasthitam. He became very sad, overwhelmed with compassion, and spoke these words to Lord Krishna. He says, "O dear Krishna, after seeing my friends and relatives present in both the armies with the desire to fight with each other, what happens to him?" Now, we'll take slok number 29 and 30. They are all interrelated. So we'll read those also. This is the physical condition of Arjuna that he is describing in slok 29 and 30. After he sees relatives, friends on both sides of the army willing to kill each other, he gets deeply saddened and he says, "Sidanti mama gatrani mukhaincha parishishyati vepathuscha sharire me roma harshascha jayate gandivam sransate hastat vakshaiva paridahyate nacha shaknomyavasthatum brahmati vachame manaha." This is 29 and 30. Sidanti. Sidanti means getting lifeless. Quivering. Mama, my. Gatrani, the limbs of body. Body parts, hands, legs. These are Gatrani. Mukham. Mukham is mouth. Cha is also Parishishyati. Parishishyati, running dry. Vepathuscha, trembling of the body. Vepathuscha sharire me, my body is trembling. Sharire, in the body, me, my. Romaharsha. Romaharsha, the small hair on our body, they are called Romaharsha, standing on the end. When we are gripped by some fear, the Romaharsha stand. That means the small hair on the body stand on its end. Jayate is happening, is taking place. Sidantima magatrani mukhainja parishishyati vepaduscha sharire me romaharshascha jayate. So I feel the limbs of my body have become lifeless. They are quivering and the mouth is going dry. My whole body is trembling. My hair are standing on the end. Romaharshascha jayate. And further he says, Gandivam sransate hastat vakshaiva paridahyate nacha shaknomyavasthatum pramati vachame manaha. Gandiv, the name of bow of Arjuna is Gandiv. Sransate, sransate is slipping from the hands. Hastat, from the hands, sransate, slipping. Tvak, tvak is the skin. Paridahyate, paridahyate is burning. Shaknomi, I am able. No, I am not able. Na shaknomi, I am not able. Avasthitum, stand. Brahmati, unable to focus the mind. Mind is going haywire, forgetting everything, what is to be done. So mind is not able to focus. Brahmati. Me, my, mana is mind. So he says further, my Gandiva, Dhanushya, bow is slipping from my hands. My skin is burning. I am not able to stand here anymore because the body was trembling and all that. My mind is going haywire and I am not able to focus my mind on any of my thoughts. As if it is forgetting everything. My mind is forgetting everything. So Arjuna is saying, "O beloved Krishna, after seeing my friends and relatives present before me, ready to fight and kill each other, my limbs are trembling, my mouth is running dry, my entire body is feeling limp, my hair is standing on the end, and my bow, the Gandiva, is slipping from my hands." Arjuna is very clearly describing his physical and mental state. On seeing all his loved ones, his childhood friends, those beloved elders in whose comforting lap he had grown up, those esteemed teachers who had taught him, all that he knew, those had loved and he had loved with and played with, seeing all his endearing friends and family, a strange kind of feeling, a strange kind of fear gripped him. What terrible times had befallen him, that he was about to wage a war against those very individuals he loved and cared for. Arjuna was indeed intensely distraught, disturbed. See, there is one war that was being fought by Arjuna. But then there is another war, the one that we all fight in the battlefield of our daily life. Our own Kurukshetra, so as to say. We cannot call our Kurukshetra, our daily life, as Dharma Kshetra, because we don't know whether we are living all as per Dharma or not. So let us not call it Dharma Kshetra, but it is definitely Kurukshetra. Our day-to-day life is a Kurukshetra. Assuming that you are trying to lead a righteous life, how many times have you had to fight this battle? Bound by your attachments, you face a constant dilemma of what to do and what not to do. How to follow the path of truth when you know that it will hurt your near ones and dear ones. And when those close to you feel hurt, they tend to create conflict, be it your children, your parents, your brothers. You have to fight your battles with them. They are near ones and dear ones. We are all modern day Arjuna. We face so many situations in our life that when our own and loved ones oppose us, now every individual thinks he is right. We also think when we talk to others that I am right. So every individual thinks that he is right and the other is wrong. And he should accept what I say. This is the expectation normal human beings have. Duryodhana had no doubt that he was right. That's why he was so determined to fight the Pandavas. Now, why he thought he was right? Duryodhana justified his demands by saying that his father, Dhritarashtra, was the eldest son and hence the rightful heir to the throne. But he was deprived of his right because he was blind. Dhritarashtra was blind since his birth. And the throne was instead given to Pandu, who was able-bodied and second in line to the throne, younger brother of Dhritarashtra. But he got the throne. Duryodhana's argument was that it was not his father's fault that he was born blind. Hence, one sees the situation from Duryodhana's point of view, he was fighting for his father's right. We cannot find a fault in that. If anybody is fighting for his father's rights, we cannot find a fault with him. Duryodhana felt that it was only fair that he, being the eldest son of Dhritarashtra, was the legitimate heir to the throne. After Dhritarashtra, it should be Duryodhana who should occupy the throne. The younger son could only help the elder brother in running the kingdom, but he could not aspire to become the successor. This was deemed illegitimate and was not condoned by the society in those days also. The eldest son was regarded as a fatherly figure, and revered as such. Dhritarashtra, being the eldest son, should have been given the throne, but he was deprived by none other than Pitamaha Bhishma, who used to handle all the affairs of Kauravas and Pandavas. And Duryodhana was resentful of Bhishma and could not accept nor approve his decision. Furthermore, Duryodhana's argument was that after the death of Pandu, same Pitamaha Bhishma had seated Dhritarashtra on the throne because there was no alternative. And the latter, he ran the kingdom without any problems, without any glitches. If Dhritarashtra could run the kingdom well after the death of Pandu, would not he have done so before Pandu's death? So why was not he given the throne right in the first place when it was due to him? So in a way, Duryodhana had a valid reason in saying that his father had suffered injustice at the hands of Pitamaha Bhishma. He believed that he would not avenge the wrong. If he would not avenge the wrong, who else would do? If the son would not avenge his father's insult, who else would do? Father is disabled, blind, so he earns more sympathy, and the son would definitely avenge the injustice meted out to his father. See, people straight away sympathize with Pandavas, all of us. But if you see it from Duryodhana's point of view, his justification was not entirely incorrect. But he aggressively and his aggressive and very ambitious attitude and very, very towering ego misguided him, and the way he followed to get his right was absolutely unjustifiable. This led to his downfall. His huge ego led to his downfall. See, there is a very small difference, very subtle difference between what is wrong and what is right. What may seem appropriate, legitimate to you, somebody else may find a fault in your logic and say, no, that is wrong. What you say right is wrong. And what others people say right, you may find a fault in their logic and say, no, that is wrong. So right and wrong are relative terms, so as to say. It is very difficult to say who is absolutely right and who is absolutely wrong. Now, having known Duryodhana's point of view, can we say who is absolutely right and who is absolutely wrong? It is all relative and depends on the context, the frame of reference. Duryodhana was angry and resentful because Pandavas had snatched his father's right. So he had that resentment against Pandavas. So how could they be righteous? They have snatched my father's right and you are calling Pandavas as righteous? How can it be? That was his argument. It was not Dhritarashtra's fault that he was born blind. Let us go a little into details of this background of Dhritarashtra's birth and Pandu's birth. The story goes like this. King Shantanu, he first got married with Ganga, the human manifestation of Ganga river, Ganga. He got married with Ganga after great amount of persuasion. Let's not go into too much details of that story, but somehow he could marry Ganga. Ganga had put one condition that I will marry with you provided you will not pose any questions to me. Whatever I do, you will not ask any questions to me. Shantanu said yes. He was deeply in love with Ganga, so he said yes, whatever you say, I will follow. Ganga gave birth to one son. Ganga, she put that infant in the river. Second born, put in the river. Third born, put in the river. Like that, 8 kids were born and all 8 were put in the river. Shantanu could not digest it anymore. When the 9th son born, before she could take any action to put him in the river, he stopped her. And then he said, what are you doing? I kept quiet when you put all 8 sons of ours in the river. Now this 9th one is there. I don't want you to do that now. She said, no, I was not going to do that. But now since you asked me the question, I am not living here with you anymore. Shantanu was shocked. But he said, can you please tell me what was the reason? So then the story goes like this, that 8 Vasus are demigods. They were given some kind of a curse by a Rishi that you will take birth on the Manushya Loka, in the human world. So they pleaded saying that, okay, we will take birth, but please give us birth in the womb of Ganga. So they were all born to Ganga. And then they requested Ganga that as soon as we are born, put us in the river. We don't want to live in the Manushya Loka for a longer time. We want to come back here. We don't want to live there. So based on their request, Ganga was putting all of them in the river. The 9th son born was Devavrat, whom we call as Pitamaha Bhishma. So Pitamaha Bhishma was the son of Shantanu and Satyavati. Now after that, what happened? The story goes like this. Satyavati gave birth to another 2 sons of hers who got married, but after marriage, they died. They died without producing any children. So the 2 daughters-in-law of Satyavati were without any issues. Now Satyavati was worried. Who will occupy the throne? After Shantanu, who will occupy? Bhishma is there, his son. I don't want him to occupy. So she went to Bhishma and took an oath from him that he will remain brahmachari, a celibacy for whole of his life. He will not marry and he will not occupy the throne. So Pitama Bhishma agreed. That's why it is called Bhishma Pratijna. Bhishma Pratijna, that I will not marry. Then, according to the customs of those times, any woman who could not conceive could go to a Rishi Muni and then he could help her to conceive the child. But before that, the story goes like this, that Satyavati, before she got married to Shantanu, she had a child from Rishi Parashar. Parashar and Satyavati had a child, son. His name was Krishna Dvaipayan. Krishna Dvaipayan, later we came to know him as Maharshi Vedavyas. So Maharshi Vedavyas was the son of Satyavati. So Satyavati went to Maharshi Vedavyas saying that, please help my daughter-in-law to conceive. Maharshi Vedavyas accepted his mother's request and Ambika, the first daughter-in-law, she went to Maharshi Vedavyas. But he was very, very scared. Maharshi Vedavyas had a very towering personality. He was a Maharshi, of course. She was very, very scared to go to Maharshi Vedavyas and she tightly closed her eyes when she went to him. And whenever she could remember that moment of meeting with Maharshi Vedavyas, she would close her eyes tightly. That resulted in giving birth to a blind child, Dhritarashtra. Seeing the child is blind, Satyavati, she sent another daughter-in-law to Maharshi Vedavyas. She was also frail and weak, and she also was resisting going to Maharshi Vedavyas because of his reputation of that time. But somehow she forced herself and went to him. But being weak and unwilling to do that particular act, the birth that she gave to the boy, that boy was frail and weak, Pandu. Second time, Satyavati asked Ambika to go back again because both the sons are, one is weak, one is blind. They are of no use for the throne. So she said, you should go once again. But she refused. I mean, not refused to Satyavati, but she secretly sent her dasi, her maid, to Maharshi Vedavyas. And the born son, he was King Vidur. King Vidur was most intelligent, most handsome of all. But he could not occupy the throne because he was a Dasi Putra. That was the reason that Dhritarashtra and Pandu were only legitimate sons of Kauravas. Dhritarashtra was denied the throne by Pitama Bhishma, and Pandu was given the throne. So this is the story. Now in all this, Duryodhana knew all this story, and Duryodhana says, what is the fault of my father in all this? He was born blind. Was it his fault? So this is the story that goes on. And after knowing this story, we cannot find too much of fault in Duryodhana's argument. Okay, let us go to Shlok 31 now. Nimittani ja pashyami viparitani keshava jajashreyo nu pashyami atva swajanamahave. Now Shlok number 31 to 36 are all interrelated. So we'll read all the shlokas, go into the meaning of it and discuss all the shlokas together from 31 to 36. So I will read out. Nimittani ja pashyami viparitani keshava jajashreyo nu pashyami atva swajanamahave. Nimittani, these symbols, causes, pashyami, to see. Viparitani, just the opposite, viparit. Keshava, calling for Lord Krishna, who killed the Asur named Keshava, demon Kesha. So his name was Keshava. Shreya, Shreya is good, helpful. Anupashyami, do I foresee? Hatva, Hatva is to kill. Swajanam, my own people. Ahave, in the fight. So Arjuna says, Nimittani pashyami viparitani keshava, jajashreyo pashyami atva swajanamahave. I see these symbols bringing misfortune. Which symbols? Siddhanti mama gatrani mukhainja parishushati vepadushya sharire me roma harsha shujayate. A Kshatriya, when he is fighting, he is getting ready for the war. Are these the symptoms that are supposed to come to him? No. He should have bravery in his mind all the time. And he should be eager to fight with the enemy. He should be eager to shoot the first arrow as quickly as possible. But now it's viparit. This opposite has happened. So Arjuna says, I see these symptoms bringing up misfortune. And they are just opposite to the expectations. Yes, they are opposite to the expectations, of course. I don't see anything good is going to happen by killing my own people in this battle. Next shloka. न कांक्षे विजयं कृष्ण न च राज्यं सुखानि च किन्नो राज्येन गोविन्द किं भोगैर्जीवितेन वा. Now he says, न कांक्षे, कांक्षा is desire, vijayam, victory. न कांक्षे विजयं कृष्ण न च राज्यं सुखानि च. I don't have desire for victory, or I don't have desire for the kingdom as well. Nor do I have desire for earning the happiness. What is the use of this kingdom? What is the use of this happiness? What is the use of enjoyment? And what is the use of even life after killing our own people? What kind of life we'll have after killing our own people? So, na kangshe vijayam krishna na cha rajyam sukhani cha kinno rajyena govinda kim bhoger jivitena ma. What is the use of this life? What kind of enjoyment we'll have after killing our own people? Further he says, Slok 33, येषाम् अर्थे काङ्क्षितन्नो राज्यं भोगाः सुखानि च त इमेव स्थिता युद्धे प्राणान् त्यक्त्वा धनानि च. Now, when for all those for whom we desire to have the kingdom, we want to have this enjoyment, we want to have the happiness in life, they are all standing in front of us, willing to sacrifice their life. So for whom we are going to fight? They are prepared to relinquish their life and their riches. So for whom we are going to fight now? Taime vasya yuddhe pranas tyaktva dhanani cha. Tyaktva, relinquish. They are prepared to relinquish their prana, their life, and dhanani cha. Whatever riches they have earned in the life so far, they are prepared to sacrifice everything. And they are standing here in the fight to kill each other. And these are the same very people for whom we are fighting. So if they are no more, then for whom we will be fighting? So this is the legitimate question from Arjuna. Further he says, Acharya pitarah putras tathaiva cha pitamahaha matula shvashurah potras shyalas sambandhinas tatha. He says, when teachers, fathers, sons, as well as grandfathers, maternal uncles, fathers-in-law, grandsons, brothers-in-law, and all other relatives. Acharya pitarah putras tathaiva ja pitamahaha matula shvashurah potras shyalas sambandhinas tatha. All these people, what they are doing? Etan hantamichhami ghatopi madhusudana apitrailokya rajyasya hitoh kinnu mahi krute. He says, even if all these people who Acharya Pitra Putra Satheva Japita Mahaha Matula Shvashra Potra Shala Sambandhina Sata, all these people, Etan means all these, Hantum is to kill, Ichhami, I wish, Nata, being killed, Api, even if, Trailokya, three lokas, Swarga, Prithvi, Patal. Heto is in exchange of Kim, by Nu, then Mahi Krute. Mahi is earth, Krute for the earth, for the Prithvi. So Arjuna says further, if all these people attack on me, Acharya Pitra Putra Sadeva Japita Maha Matula Shvashra Potra Shala Sambandhina Sita, all these people attack on me, even then I am not willing to kill them. They may kill me, but I am not willing to kill them, even if they attack on me. Madhusudana, even if I get the ownership of all the three worlds, Swarga, Prithvi, Patal, even then I don't want to kill them. Then just for the small kingdom of Hastinapur, small piece of earth, do you think I will kill them? Etoh kinnu mahi krute, in exchange of small piece of land on this earth, do you think I will kill them? Even if I get the ownership of all three worlds, then even then I am not willing to kill them. Then for this small piece of kingdom, why should I kill them? No way, I will not. Further he says, Nihatyadarashtrana kapritisya janardana Papamevashrayedasman atvai tata Nihatya. Nihatya means by killing. Dhartarashtran. Dhartarashtran, the sons of Dharashtra. Naha. Naha means our, pronoun in Sanskrit. Ka. Ka means what? Priti. Priti is pleasure, happiness. Syat. Syat will be Janardhan, calling for, of course, Lord Krishna. Papam. Papam means sinful act. Pap. Ashrayet. Will get. Papa. Asman. Asman is we, us. Atva. Killing. Etan. Etan is there. Ataitan. Ataitan means Atankvadi, aggressor. So he says, Nihattadatarashtrannah kapritisya janardana papameva ashraye dasman atvai tana tatayinaha. Janardana, Krishna, by killing sons of Dhritarashtra, were our relatives. They are Swajan, they are our relatives. What pleasure are we going to get? Even if they are aggressors, we will earn only sin by killing them. Because killing our own relatives is a huge sin. It's a huge sinful act. So by killing them, we are going to earn sin only. Now all these shlokas from 31 to 36, let us discuss. Describing his anguish, Arjuna says, the bow is slipping from my hands, my skin is burning, my mind is reeling in delusion. Hence, I am unable to stand here any longer. I desire neither victory, nor joy, nor life from this battle. How do any of this matter when they, for whose sake one desires the pleasures of life, stand here in the battlefield, ready to get killed? Teachers, sons, grandfathers, maternal uncles, fathers-in-law, grandsons, brothers-in-law, and all other relatives, I don't want to kill them, even though they may kill me. Lord, I don't want to fight them even in the exchange of 3 worlds, let alone this earth. Now, this is a classic example of someone who is gripped by fear psychosis. This is nothing but fear psychosis. Arjuna is a patient of fear psychosis now. When one is gripped by the fear, then it is not confined to mind alone, but its ripples run through the body as well, like it has happened in case of Arjuna. From the biological point of view, fear causes secretion of such harmful chemicals from the gland in our mind that are highly toxic to the body. At the onset of fear, blood circulation begins to slow down in our body. These are the psychosomatic effect. At the onset of fear, so blood circulation slows down in the body, the heart starts beating faster, and the pulse rate increases. We all experience this. The principal demand constituting this fear is earth. Hence, it leads to a kind of inertia in the body. Fear leads to an imbalance in the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system of our body, and entire body gets stressed out because of fear. There is a buildup of muscular tension in the body, and the resulting chemical imbalance in the body, it leads to the state of heightened alertness in the body. We get scared. Fear arises in mind, but its effects are seen in the body. Anger creates heat in your body and raises the body temperature, whereas fear leads to physical inertia and drop in the body temperature. So anger and fear both are bad. While in anger, the blood circulation in the body accelerates. In the case of fear, it slows down. It can drop to so low that it may even cause the death. Even extreme anger can cause the death. Since the blood flow in arteries and the pulse rate escalates so much high that the body cannot bear it. Hence, it is said that anger and fear are bad for our health. Both should be avoided at any cost, anger and fear. See, you are reading this commentary as if it is relevant only to Arjuna. We are listening to all this Vivechana as if this is all only applicable to Arjuna, his body, his mind and all that. That means that we are not understanding the Gita at all. All of us must read as if we are Arjuna. And this is our story. Let us face the question. Are you free from anger and fear? Are you free from attachment to your family members? Does not your mind get gripped by fear just by thinking of any possible future mishaps or losses? The story is the same. Only the times have changed, that's all. This event of Arjuna and Lord Krishna took place at Kurukshetra more than 5,000 years back, is true and relevant for these modern times as well. The demons of anger, fear and attachment, all three dangers or three demons, anger, fear and attachment, that Arjuna was facing 5,500 years back, we are facing the same demons in our day-to-day life, isn't it? Are we free from anger? No. Are we free from fear? No. Are we free from attachment? No. So all these three demons are existing today also. Hence, the Bhagavad Gita is as relevant today as it was thousands of years ago. Don't regard Bhagavad Gita as something ancient that happened to someone else a long time ago. It is very much contemporary and highly appropriate for the melodies of modern man as well. The only difference is that we never accept or acknowledge, even to our own self, that we have anger, we have fear, and we have attachments. Do we accept all these weaknesses in us? Sometimes not. But Arjuna had the courage to accept. That's why he read in so many shlokas, we have said, he is describing his mental condition and his physical condition to Lord Krishna. He had that sincerity. He is saying to Krishna, Keshava, I can see only misery and tragedy in this war. I cannot see how any good can come from killing my own kith and kin. He is calling everybody Swajana. Duryodhana never called anybody Swajana. For him, Pandavas were his enemies. But Arjuna, being a different person altogether, he is considering Kauravas also as Swajana, my own people. So everyone driven by the fire of aversion, ambition, and ego is fiercely impatient. And I don't see welfare of anyone in such a situation. I am not desirous of victory anymore. I don't want any kingdom. For what is the worth of a victory that would be gained by killing my own kinsmen, my own people, Swajana? Govinda, what use will be the kingdom? What will be the worth of the triumph that is stained with blood of my own loved ones? I don't want success like this on these terms. For those whom we desire kingdom, sensual pleasures and happiness, they, having sacrificed wealth and hopes, today stand here with us in this war. The kingdom for which we are fighting is inert, made up of perishable matter, and we are willing to kill each other merely for that piece of kingdom? How very absurd. Inert kingdom, inert wealth, inert possessions, and furthermore, the body through which one will enjoy the happenings or the results of this war of luxury, even that body is inert. It's perishable, of course. Are we so insane that we are willing to give up this valuable life for the pursuit of these worthless inner objects? Arjuna is giving very, very strong logic. Arjuna implores to Lord Krishna, Madhusudana, on seeing all my teachers, grandfathers, maternal uncles, fathers-in-law, grandsons, brothers-in-law, and all other relatives here standing in the war, I am being overwhelmed by the intense pain. Have we fallen so low in our life, in our thoughts, that for a mere kingdom, for mere wealth, we are willing to take lives of our near ones and dear ones? Have you gone so low? Now you tell me, have you not frequently faced a situation wherein Either you have thought or you have fought with your relatives or they have fought with you. Yes, there are many occasions where we have fought with our dear ones and dear ones. Yes, the fight may have been verbal onslaught of words. We are not fighting physically, but words, yes. We exchange hot words with each other when we are fighting with our near ones and dear ones as well, not with the weapons. Sneering, deriding, mocking, humiliating others. Did you ever refrain from doing all this? It is common to see people fighting over money matters, property, jewelry, inheritance. Then be it husband and wife, father and son, or brothers fighting with each other, and so on and so forth. Money is so very often the cause of discord and hostility in so many relationships. It is indeed possible to live this short life in a beautiful way. It is possible. But people find beauty only in inert objects. They don't have the eyes to see the beauty in life itself. Is not life complete, beautiful on its own without those inert things? What can be the price of a glorious sunrise that we see every day? Or the whiff of fresh, buoyant air? To be able to feel the refreshing raindrops against your hot, dry skin, and to be able to bath in that delightful drizzle of the first rain. The laughter of a child, the dazzling colors of butterfly. Can anything of this bought with money? It is all simply invaluable. We don't know how to value it. That's our problem. But we don't appreciate this sheer vibrancy happening all around us. All we have become habituated is the perception of inert objects. You fret over not getting the house or the car, or feel aggrieved that the brother took away what was rightfully yours. Have not you fought with others for possessing something or the other? Have not others fought with you? So is not your life a battlefield as Arjuna's was? Is it not the Kurukshetra? Yes, it is indeed Kurukshetra. It is very much a battlefield. Our day-to-day life is very much a battlefield. And here Arjuna is saying, I am willing to even die at the hands of the sons of Dhritarashtra, Lord Krishna, maintaining or maintainer of all living entities. I am not prepared to fight with them, even in the exchange of the three worlds, Swarga, Prithvi, Patal, let alone this earth. What pleasure can I possibly derive by killing my own people? Swajan. Let's go to Shlok 37. So after telling about all adverse effects of the war, now Arjuna is firmly telling as to how it is absolutely not justified, unjustified to take up this battle. He says, Tasman narha vayam hantan dhardrashtran svabandhavan swajanam hi katham hatva sukhina syama madhavo. Tasmat, therefore, that's why, no, never. Arha is proper. Vayam is the pronoun in Sanskrit. We, hantum is to kill. Dhardrashtran, sons of Dhritarashtra, and all their relatives from Kaurava side. Swabandhavan, our relatives, our friends. Swajanam, our own family members. Katham is how. Hatva is by killing. Sukhina is happy. Syama will be Madhava is calling for Lord Krishna, of course. So Arjuna says, Tasman narha vayam hantun dhardharashtran swabandhavan swajanam hi katham hatva sukhina syama Madhava. Therefore, it is not proper for us to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra and our relatives, our friends. What and how happiness shall we get by killing our own people? Sin will befall on us. We will be earning sin by killing them. Therefore, it is not proper for us to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra and our friends and the relatives. Arjuna says he is willing to be killed by his relatives. Madhava, he says, I will not obtain any happiness by killing our own kinsmen, our own relatives, our own friends. They don't realize this, but I do. They don't realize, but I do. Hence, I cannot bring myself to fight and kill my own loved ones. I will stand unarmed, and if they want, they can kill me, but I will not retaliate. So this is the stage to which Kshatriya has gone. Tasman Nahavayam Huntum Dhatratam Subandhavan Swajanim Katamatva Sikanasyama Madhava. Let us go to Shlok 38. Yadyapedena Pashyanti Lobho Pahata Kulakshaya Kritan Dosham Mitradrohe Cha Patakam. Yadyapete, Yadi means even if, Api even if ete means they means who? Kauravas. Na Pashyanti, they don't see, they don't understand, because Lobho Pahata Chetasaha, their hearts, their Viveka Buddhi has been taken away by greed. Lobho Pahata Chetasaha. Lobh has taken over their antakaran. Lobh has taken over their hearts. Kulakshaya, by killing the family. Krutam is to do, done. Dosham is dosh, lot. Mitra drohe, by agitating, fighting, quarreling with the friends. That is Mitra droha. Cha is also Patakam. Patakam is the sinful act. So Arjuna says, Yadyapetena Pashyanti Lobho Bhavata Chetasaha Kulakshaya Kritam Dosham Mitra Drohe Cha Patakam. Let us take Shlok number 39 and 40 also along with this. All are related. Further he says, Kathannadnyam asmabhi papa dasman nivartitam Kulakshaya Kritam Dosham Tapashyadvir Janardhanam. Katham, why? No, should not. Nyanam to know. Asmabhi, by us. Papat, the sins, from the sins. Asmat is this. Nivartitum, to withdraw, to get rid of, to retire. Nivartitum. We say no, nivritta, so nivartitum. Kulakshaya Kritam, by destroying the kul, the dynasty. Dosham, crime. Prapashadhi, those who understand, see it well. Prapashadhi, Janardhana is calling for Krishna. So Arjuna says, Kathannadnyam asmabhi papa dasman nivartitam kulakshaya kritam dosham prapashyad vir Janardhana. Before that he had said, Yadyapetena Pashyanti Lobho Bhavata Chetasaha kulakshaya kritam dosham mitra drohe cha patakam. Those people, Kauravas, they don't understand that how great sinful act it is to cause destruction of own dynasty or to fight against own friends or own friends. They don't see, because their hearts have been stolen by greed for the kingdom. But in 39 shloka, he asked Krishna that Kathannadnyam asmabhi papa dasman nivartatam kulakshaya krito dosham prapashyad bir Janardhana. Lord, we ourselves, who very well understand the sinful act involved in destruction of our dynasty. We know what is the sinful act involved in Kulakshaya. They don't understand because their hearts are stolen by the greed. But we understand it very well. So should we not think of getting rid of this sinful act? Should we not withdraw from the war? That means. Further he says, Kulakshe pranashyanti kuladharmat sanatanaha dharme nashte kulam krishnam adharmo vibhavatyuta. Further, he paints a very bad picture of if the war takes place, what is going to happen. Kulakshe, in the destruction of family, the dynasty, pranashyanti to get finished, to get eliminated, vanquished. Kuladharma, the family traditions. Sanatana, eternal, age-old, since ages. Dharme, of the religion. Nashte, get destroyed. Kulam, the dynasty. Krishnam, total, complete, whole. Adharmo, adharma, irreligion. Actions which are against the religious teachings, religious principles is adharma. So Arjuna says further, with the destruction of dynasty, when the Kulakshaya takes place, the destruction of dynasty, the age-old eternal family rituals and traditions will get vanquished. Who will perform? Nobody is there in the family to perform the age-old traditions in the family. And thus, the remaining family members become involved in the acts which are against the religious techniques, religious teachings, and religious principles. Now, Although these men, their heart clouded by greed, see no sin in killing their family members, inflicting cruelty on their own friends, why should we, who can see the evil in this action, not refrain from this sinful act, Krishna? With the destruction of family, the spiritual family traditions perish forever. Then unrighteousness dominates the entire society. This is the danger. Those who are filled with greed, such people end up destroying their entire clan. They don't heed good advice given to them by their friends. In fact, anyone who opposes their action, they regard him as their enemy. इसका भला करने जाओ तो बोलता हमारा दुश्मन है ये. We give him good advice, he says, no, I don't want to have your advice. A lot of people had tried to instill sense into Duryodhana, tried to reason out with him, but Duryodhana did not pay any heed to their advice. Moreover, even Dhritarashtra could not understand, as he was so entrenched with his attachment to his own sons. Mama ka Pandavas chahiye, my son, my son, my son. So he was so much attached to his son that he did not see anything wrong in this war. Duryodhana was very much dear to Dhritarashtra, and his son's wishes were paramount to Dhritarashtra. He said that his son did not agree with the advice and reasoning offered by everyone. He was capable of preventing the imminent war. Dhritarashtra could have prevented, but he did not do it because he was deeply loving his son Duryodhana, and he could not go against the wishes of Duryodhana. Arjuna says, Janardana, is there any greater sin than the greed that has overtaken these men? Their hearts are so full of greed that they see nothing wrong in killing their own family members, their friends. If our entire clan gets destroyed, that will become an unrighteous act. And with the destruction of the dynasty, the long-running family traditions will be aborted. Herein Arjuna is bringing the context of social traditions and customs. He says that every family, every clan follows the traditional path of righteousness, a set of ethical precepts we all follow. Somebody follow Navratra, Ganesh Chaturthi, Gauri Ganpati, all that we follow. So these are the family traditions which are going on since ages. Who started in our family, we don't know, but this is going on and we still strictly follow it. So if the entire clan gets wiped out, who will then continue those mortal precepts that were handed down from generation to generation? And these precepts are not new. They are ancient, they are eternal, and are being followed in families for centuries. Arjuna argues that if the ethical precepts handed over by the generations together got destroyed, then that will pave the way for the destruction of religion and righteousness in total. Krishna. Basic ethical tenets form the foundation of our lives. And children learn this from their parents, like respecting the elders, cordially greeting your guest with warmth, feeding the birds and animals, giving bhiksha, alms to the needy. These are the fundamental tenets that the parents impart to their offsprings, their children. Offering the first baked bread to the cow, the chapati to the cow, serving the elders, or respecting the sages, being humble, waking up early in the morning. All this is taught by the parents. It goes without saying that we are not discussing about the parents who get up at 9 o'clock in the morning. We are talking of normal parents who get up early in the morning and then they teach their children also to do the same. Now, if you have been following this fundamental ethical practice, then this in itself will become the foundation of our spiritual practice. All good things form the foundation of our spiritual practice. Getting up early, it may sound insignificant. What happens if I get up at 8 o'clock? What is the use in getting up at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock? But these make the foundation of our spiritual practice, spiritual habits. On the contrary, those homes which are dominated by lethargy and inertia, will they learn Gita? Will they learn Vedanta? Will they be reading Gita or do any kind of adhyatmic activity? Very less possibility. Such homes around only with pursuit of material pleasures and wealth. Make more money is their motto. It does not matter how you make it, whether you beg, borrow, or steal, whether you earn it fraudulently or by bribery, it does not matter at all, because those people are always under the material, after the material pleasures. Arjuna says the destruction of customary, traditionally followed ethical precepts will in effect destroy the righteousness completely, and the society will then be dominated by seen, by the papa. Further, in 41st sloka now, Arjuna says, Adharma bhibhavat krishna pradushyanti kula striyaha strishu dushtasu varshneya jayate varna sankaraha. Arjuna, Krishna, when the social behavior violates the religious principle, when adharma takes over the dharma, then such behavior becomes dominant, and the ladies, even from the respectable family, kulastriya, from the respectable families, they become polluted. And when the family ladies get polluted, the unwanted, undesired hybrid generation, children, gets born. So this is, will gives rise to the hybrid children, because there is no dharma. Who will marry whom? Nobody knows. Who will produce children from whom? Nobody knows. So this is going to cause a problem of Varna Sankara. Varna Sankara means people of different background coming together and producing children. For example, if a Hindu girl marries a Muslim boy, it will create a Sankara. Sankara means hybridness. Because we all eat vegetarian food, they eat non-vegetarian food. Our dressing pattern is different, their dressing pattern is different. We worship another god, they worship another god. Everything is different. So the children produced by such families are Sankara, Varna Sankara. They are hybrid. And such hybrid children, what they will follow? What traditions of this family they will follow? They will not follow any family traditions. So Arjuna continues talking about the consequences of destruction of the dynasty along with the ethical precepts. He says, Krishna, sin and unrighteousness will become the norm of the life. The women from such families will lose their virtuosity. They will become debauched. And the debasement of women will lead to unwanted progeny. So these are the things that are going to happen. Arjuna is painting a very dark picture as to when most of the male population gets wiped out in the war, only ladies and some boys will remain, and some crooks will remain in the world. They will pollute all the kulastriya. And they will produce children which will cause Varna Sankara. So these are the dangers Arjuna is painting to Lord Krishna. Now we go to Shlok 42 quickly. Sankaro narakayaiva kulagnanam kulasya cha patanti pitaro yesham luptapindo dakakriyaha. This hybrid generation, the Varna Sankar, will get born in the family. They will cause the entire family going to the hell. Because the family rituals will not be followed. The ancestors and forefathers, the Purvat who have died in the past, they will all climb down from their positions. Sankaro narakayeva kulagnanam kulasya patanti pitaro. Patanti is to fall down. Pitara is the forefathers, ancestors. Because lupta pindo dakakriya. Their Shraddha karma will not be performed on their annual day. Pinda is the food that we offer on the Shraddha day to our forefathers. And Udak is the water that we offer to them. All those kriyas will stop. And those Pitar will climb down from their positions. So this is not going to cause danger only to the people who are going to remain after the war, but even for the people who have died in the war. They will not get Shanti. They will not get their annual rites of Udak and Pinda. Now, how much to believe in all this is up to you. Sankaro narakayeva kulagnanam kulasya padanti pitaro yeshan lupta pindo dakakriyaha. Varna refers to the division of Hindu society into 4 castes. That is Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. In those times, Intercaste marriages were deemed totally inappropriate, and everyone took a lot of pride in their own caste. Now let us clarify on this further, or else we will carry a wrong impression that Gita is encouraging caste based on discrimination. No, this is all the thoughts of Arjuna, not of Lord Krishna. Gita doesn't say this. Gita doesn't give such teachings at all. You need to understand what these categories actually mean. Who is Brahmin? It is not someone who is born in a Brahmin family. Chaturvarnam maya srishtam guna karma vibhagashaha. Guna and karma, they decide what varna you belong to, not your family. So this is what Gita preaches. Your guna and your karma will decide whether you are a Brahmin. It is not someone who is born in the Brahmin family is a Brahmin. Our sages have said that one who has realized the Brahma, Parabrahma is Brahmin. One who understands Parabrahma is Brahmin. Similarly, the one whose natural inclination is towards business and who is interested only in profit and loss is referred to as Vaishya. Shudra is one whose intellect is not as strong as others. All people in the society are not identical, they are not same. So they have been given a role which is befitting to their qualities, their guna and their karma. So we cannot blame Geeta that Geeta has produced this 4 Chaturvarna in the society. A Brahmin who joins army, he becomes a Kshatriya, because by karma he becomes a Kshatriya. A Brahmin joining army cannot say that I will not kill the enemy because I am Brahmin. Then get killed yourself. Will that work? No. So in today's world, what we say is marriage is based on compatibility, and that is the best way. Whether it's Brahmin or Vaishya, Shudra or whatever it is, doesn't matter. The compatibility of boy and girl is of paramount importance. Now Arjuna is talking about this caste system that was even more prevalent and dominant that time than what it is today. He says that with the destruction of dynasty, the women of the clan will interact with the males of other caste and other varnas, and the resultant mixed breed children will further damage the society. Varna Sankara refers to the children born out of wedlock, especially those conceived by women who have co-polluted with the men from different caste, different varna. And this was regarded as blight, a stigma in those times by the society. Arjuna is saying that the impending war would lead to utter disgrace and dishonor. This, he says, would be inescapable consequence and something which cannot be avoided if the war takes place. Now, Karna was the son of Kunti, born out of wedlock. He was raised by a Shudra couple, Karna. So he was born from the womb of Kunti only, but he was raised by the Shudra couple. And neither Arjuna nor Yudhishthir ever missed an opportunity to sarcastically remind Karna of his lowly background, that he is a Shudra. Knowing well that he is their brother, born from the same mother, they always insulted Karna. Whenever they would get an opportunity, they would taunt, lowly born one, be quiet, don't talk. When Kshatriyas are talking, a Shudra is not supposed to talk. This was the ritual that time. You are not fit to sit with us. We are all Kshatriyas, you are a Shudra. Don't sit with us. So this is a negative side of Pandavas, isn't it? Like Duryodhana had a negative side. This was the negative side of Pandava, to disrespect their own brother, Karna. Further, it is said that Karna was a very handsome, intelligent man with an attractive personality. He too had intended to participate in Draupadi's Swayamvar. But when he stood to pick up the bow, Draupadi got scared and she promptly stopped him by saying that she would not allow a son of Shudra to participate in her Swayamvar. So Pandavas also had inflicted a lot of insult on the Karna and on Kauravas. Arjuna and his brothers had never let Karna forget this. In this context, it is apparent the attitude of Duryodhana was very admirable, because he regarded Karna as a supremely brave warrior. He never said, you are a Shudra and don't come to me. He respected Karna as a brave warrior and respected him. Karna's background, his upbringing was inconsequential for Duryodhana. The reason we are comparing the character of Arjuna and Duryodhana is simply to point out that you will be able to find some faults in Arjuna. At the same time, you can find some shades of goodness in Duryodhana. So nobody is totally black, nobody is totally white. Arjuna had some bad things, Duryodhana had some good things. Karna, who had been condemned and denounced by everyone, was accepted only by Duryodhana, who befriended him and offered him a place of respect in his kingdom. So this was the character of Duryodhana. He was not totally bad. Okay, let us go to Shlok 43 now. Doshairete kulagnana varna sankara karkaihi utsadyante jati dharma kuladharmasya shashvataha. Doshe, such faults, etai, all these, kulagnanam, by the destroyer of the family, varna sankar, that we discussed already, the hybrid generation, karakai, which are the causes, reasons, utsadyante, utsadyante, getting devastated, finished, terribly damaged, jati dharma, religions and caste principles, jati and dharma, kula dharma, family traditions and rituals, shashvata, shashvata is eternal, old. So doshairete kulagnana varna sankara karakaihi utsadyante jati dharma kula dharmasya shashvataha. By the sinful, evil acts of these who destroy the family traditions and thus give rise to hybrid, unwanted children, all kinds of family traditions and the base principles of caste and religion get devastated, destroyed. So hybrid generation can play havoc in the family. Further, Arjuna says in 44th sloka, Utsanna kula dharmanam manushanai janardana narake niyatam vaso bhavati tirushushrimam ashrushum. I have heard it. Arjuna says, I have heard from the old people in the family through traditional succession. We also get many stories from our grandfather, grandmother. This is what happens if you do this. This is what happens if you do that. Something like that. So Arjuna says, I have heard from the old people in the family that those whose family traditions are destroyed, they always remain in the hell, Narak. So this is another thing Arjuna is saying, if we fight the war, all this is going to happen. So can we find a way to stop the war? So Arjuna is now bringing the tradition of following the rites and rituals that is an integral part of norms followed by the traditional families. It is indeed interesting to see people who are otherwise staunch followers of Vedanta, but when faced with the death in their family, they get gripped by fear and ask, what right should I do now? Should I offer those pinda, dove balls to the crow? What should I do? We all follow this. Now Geeta preaches us that we are not body. We are the soul. Atma, Jivatma. Now that Jivatma has left the body, he has merely occupied another body. He may be happy there. And we are treating all this thing on the body which has no life left in it. So whether does it make any sense to treat the body with the same respect as if it was alive? So performing last rites on that dead body, does it make sense? This is the question which many Gyanis pose. There was an American lady who was Indian by birth. So she wanted her sons to perform Shraddha on her annual day whenever she died. But the sons, knowing their background, she thought they will not perform her Shraddha and she will remain without peace after her death. So she came to India. And then she went to Haridwar, where the Pandit there, they perform your Shraddha when you are alive. Saying that now, even if your sons don't perform Shraddha, it doesn't matter. We have performed your Shraddha now. So when you are alive, you are performing your own Shraddha. Does it sound logical? Food for thought for everybody to think about it, whether it makes sense to perform our own Shraddha when we are alive. Okay, we go to 45th shloka now quickly. Arjuna further says, Aho batamahatpapam kartum vyavasita vayam yadrajya sukhalobhena hantum swajanamadhyataha. Aho means very surprising, shocking. Alas, like that. Bata. Bata means how strange it is. Mahat. Mahat is great. Papam, sinful act. Kartum, to do, to perform. Vyavasita. Vyavasita is to decide something. Vayam. Vayam is we. Rajya, kingdom. Sukha, happiness. Lobhena, greed. Hantum, to kill. Swajana, our own people. Udyata, trying. So Arjuna says, Ahobatamat papam kartum vyavasita vayam yadrajya sukha lobena hantum swajanam udyata. Alas, very surprising, shocking. How strange it is that we have decided to commit a largely sinful act. Mahat papam, great sinful act we have decided to commit, that we are going to kill our own people in the greed of kingdom and happiness. Ahobatamat papam kartum vyavasita vayam yadrajya sukha lobena hantum swajanam udyata. We have decided to kill our own people just for kingdom and happiness. How strange, how shocking it is. We go to next shloka, 46. Yadimam apratikaram ashastram shastrapanyah dhartarashtrarani hanyas tanme kshemataram bhavet. Yadimam apratikaram. Yadi, even if, mama, me, apratikaram, without offering resistance or retaliation, is apratikar. Ashastram, without having weapons in the hand. Shastra panayaha, pani is hand. With weapons in their hands, Dhartarashtra, the sons of Dhritarashtra, Rane in this battlefield, Anyus may kill, Tata, that may, for me, Kshemataram, better, Bhavet, would be. So this is the height of frustration expressed by Arjuna. He says that Yadimam pratikaram ashastram shastrapanayah dhartarashtrarani hanyus tanme kshemataram bhavet. It will be better for me if the sons of Dhritarashtra with weapons in their hands, they come and kill me when I am unarmed and I am not offering any retaliation, any resistance. And this is going to be better for me, he says. In this battlefield, they may come with weapons in their hands. I will not offer any resistance to them. I will not lift any arm in my hands, and then they kill me. This is going to be better for me. This is a Kshatriya speaking this language when he's studying in the battlefield. He's comparing this, that this will be better because he thinks that by this is better than me killing my teachers, my Achara Pitra Putra Sathaivacha Pita Maha. If I kill them, it's going to be worst. So compared to that, this is better that they kill me. And I will not offer any resistance. So rather than me incurring that sinful act of killing my gurus, my grandfathers, my friends, my relatives, it is better that I get killed and I don't kill anybody. At least I will not earn any sinful act. So from that point of view, he says, this is better for me. Yadi mama pratikaram ashastram shastrapanayah dhartarashtrarani hanyus tanme kshemataram bhavet. We quickly go to last shloka now, which is the end of this adhyaya first, Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Sanjay is also listening everything spoken by Arjuna. Dhritarashtra is also getting narrated the same story from Sanjaya. Now Sanjaya says, Sanjayam vacha eva muktva Arjuna sankhe pathopastha upabhishat visrajya sasharai chapam shokasam vigna manasaha. Evam, thus, uktva, saying, sankhe is the battlefield, ratha, chariot, upasthe on the seat, upavishat, sit down, uttishta, stand up, upavishat, sit down. Visrajya is to put aside, sasharam, along with arrows, chapam, the bow, dhanushya, shoka, in deeply saddened state, manasa, of the mind. So, emuktva jina sankhe ratho pastopabhishat visrajya sasharai chapam shoka sambigna manasa. After speaking all these frustrations, what Arjuna has spoken, we have discussed it at length. Arjuna, having spoken like this on the battlefield, he cast aside his bow and arrows. Visrajya sasharai chapam. He cast aside his bows and arrows and sat down in the chariot with a deeply saddened mind. So this is the state of Arjuna now. Arjuna is sitting down with a great saddened mind because he doesn't want to fight the war, and he has given umpteen number of explanations as to why it is going to be a activity which is going to incur only sin, nothing else. This is going to be a highly sinful act. Now to lift Arjuna from this mental breakdown, so as to say, and make him ready for the war, and make him say on his own, without force, that Nashto mohasdir labdha tat prasadan mayachita sidosmi gata sandeha parishye vachanantava. At the end of Geeta, in 18th Adhyay, 73rd Shlok, Arjuna says this, that now my moha, maya, everything has gone. I have regained my memory. Regained memory in the sense, I now remember what I am supposed to do as a Kshatriya. I am in the battlefield. I am not supposed to withdraw from the war, which is inflicted on me. I have not invited this war. I didn't want to fight the war. We made a lot of efforts to stop the war, but it has been inflicted on me. And a Kshatriya, I will not run away from this war. It is forced upon me, but I will fight. Karishye vachanantava. Now, whatever you have said, Lord Krishna, I will do exactly as per that. So lift Arjuna's morale from this low level to make him ready for the war without forcing him. Lord Krishna could have said, if you believe me that I am the God, then just do what I say. Don't ask questions. The Geeta would not have happened. Arjuna probably would have fought, but without any efforts. He would have got killed probably in the war. When you are doing something unwillingly, you cannot get success in that. But in the same 18th Adhyay, Krishna also says that you are saying all this, that you will not fight the war and all that, but knowing that you are a Kshatriya, you could not have avoided the war. You would have done this. You would have avoided, you could not say this. Prakriti would have got it done from you, because by nature you are a Kshatriya. So if not now, after some time, after a few days, you would have been ready for the war on your own, without me telling the Geeta to you, of course. But then we would have been unfortunate not to get Geeta from Lord Krishna. Krishna probably did not have so much of time, because he has already announced the Dharma Yuddha, and then he wanted Arjuna to take up the fight then and there only. So, Nashto mohasdir labdha tat prasadan mayachita sitosmeda sandeha karishye vachanantava. Arjuna finally agrees. Now, this Adhyay, you would have seen that in this Adhyay, we call it, when we see the Pushpika, we say, Om Tatsaridi Śrīmad-Bhagavadgītā Su Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Arjuna Vishada Yogonam Prathamo Adhyayah. Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade. But the question may come, there is no samvad from Arjuna. Krishna did not speak a single word in this. He is a mere listener of all the frustrations of Arjuna. So where is the Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvad? But samvad does not necessarily mean that both the parties have to speak. If there is a good patient listener and one talker, that also is a samvad. That also is a dialogue. So long as there is a listener and there is a talker, then that is a dialogue. That is a samvad. So this is also a Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvad, because Shri Krishna is giving a very patient hearing to what Arjuna is saying. So when there is a speaker and there is a careful listener, that is also a samvad. And this is how the samvad has taken place between Lord Krishna and Arjuna. This is the end of first chapter, Arjuna Vishada Yoga. All this Vishad will be handled by Shri Krishna in a great psychiatrist manner from second Adhyaya onwards. Ashochanana Shochaswam Pradnyavadam Shabhashase Gatasuna Gatasumshta Nanu Shochanti Panditaha. From that shlok onwards, the real Geeta message will start. So we stop here, and now the forum is open for all of you to put up your questions. Thank you so very much. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna Bhaiya, such a lovely session. Truly a samvad, and all the examples that Bhaiya gives are point absolutely true. The way he mixes little bit of stories from Mahabharata, absolutely mesmerizing, keeps us tied to our seats, listening to his stories, looking forward to more. The Vishad is all exaggerated thanks to Arjuna that we are able to hear Krishna's solution to all the problems that Arjuna has put for us. So anybody who has any questions related to this chapter or to anything else that Bhaiya can answer for you all, please raise your hand and you can ask your question. But I'm sure with so much of examples, such beautiful stories that Bhaiya puts up for us, absolutely, Vidyaji, excellent Vivechan. And every time I hear chapter 1 from Bhaiya, I get to know more stories. Today, Bhaiya told us how Karna was so handsome, and the way he gave us perception of good qualities in Duryodhan, which is so true. All of us have the little bit of black and little bit of white, which makes us complete. Bhaiya, I think you have done the Vivechan so well that there's no question, nobody has raised their hand. So, but I am going to take this opportunity to thank you one more time for this beautiful Vivechan, for the lovely stories that you sprinkle all around, for good examples that you give us. The last part where you said Vivechan is not only about talking, it is about listening also, and how when we are listening to somebody's problems, we should hear carefully before we start giving the answer. Thank you, Bhaiya, for this lovely session that you have shared with us. We look forward to more such sessions with you again and again.
Thank you very much. Thanks to all the people who are listening. And thanks, Meenakshi ji.
Thank you, Bhaiya. Thank you for being a part of this family. We always aspire to be something like you, slowly and steadily. You hold our hand. And in life, all the examples that you give, Bhaiya, truly, whether it is the food example, the fast example that you give of observing Upvas and thinking about food, excellent examples you give us and keep us on our toes to be able to bring Geeta ji to our life and to live life according to Geeta ji. I'll take this opportunity to thank our technical team and all the other behind the scene who work so hard to make this Vivechan a success. Vedang Bhaiya is our technical support for tonight. Beautiful seva he is giving us. And before we bring this session to end, I have to thank each and every person working behind, whether it is anchoring team, handling the scripts, handling technical department, and bringing this Vivechan for us to bring Geeta ji to our life. Thank you, Bhaiya. Once again, words are not enough to express our great heartfelt thanks for your time and inputs that you give to make our life a better life. I will invite Kanan Bhaiya for the closing prayer, because like I said, we begin a session with a prayer and we offer the entire session to the lotus feet of Lord Shri Krishna himself. And for prayer, we have Kanan Bhaiya from Thane. Kanan Bhaiya is a retired engineer. He joined Geeta Parivar in 2020 and he's trainer for all three levels, level 1, level 2 and level 3. So finally, this session of when we bring the Vishad to an end, we have a gem of a person closing the session for us. So Kanan Bhaiya, please offer this session to lotus feet of Shri Krishna.
Thank you, Meenakshi and Vikas, Vaidya ji, for excellent program. I really enjoyed it. Okay. Jai Shri Krishna. Yogesham Satchidanandau Vasudevau Vrajapriyam Dharma Samstapakau Virang Krishnau Vande Jagadgurum Shri Krishnau Vande Jagadgurum. Jai Shri Krishna.
Thank you, Bhaiya. Thank you so much. I must remind everybody that our Param Pujya Guruji has taken a sankalp of Shatkoti Hanuman Chalisa. Krishna carried Hanumanji to the battlefield on the Dhwaj, and our Param Pujya Gurudev has brought Hanumanji to our lives by taking this sankalp of Shatkoti Hanuman Chalisa to be completed before we bring Ram Lala to his birthplace in January of 2024. So let us all sit together and chant Hanuman Chalisa. Bhaiya, will you please the Hanuman Chalisa for all of us?
Yes, Shri, I am playing.
Yeah, let's stay on mute and chant the Hanuman Chalisa.
Yes.
Shri Guru Charan Saroj Raj Nij Manu Mukuru Sudhari Baranau Raghuvara Vimal Jasu Jodaya Kupalachari Buddhihina Tanu Janike Sumirau Pavan Kumar Bala Buddhi Vidya Dehu Mohi Harau Kalesa Vikar. जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर, जय कपीसति लोक उजागर, रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा, अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा। महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी, कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी, कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा, कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा। हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे, कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे, शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन, तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन। विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर, राम काज करिबे को आतुर, प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया, राम लखन सीता मन बसिया। सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा, विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा, भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे, रामचंद्र के काज संवारे। लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए, श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए, रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई, तुम मम प्रिय भरतहि सम भाई। सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावे, अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे, सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा, नारद सारद सहित अहिसा। जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते, कवि कोविद कहि सकै कहाते, तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा, राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा। तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना, लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना, जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु, लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानू। प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि, जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही, दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते, सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते। राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे, होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे, सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना, तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपन तेज सम्हारो आपै, तीनों लोक हांकते कांपै, भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे, महावीर जब नाम सुनावे। नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा, जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा, संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे, मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा, और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे। चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा है, प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा, साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता, असवर दीन जानकी माता, राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे, अंत काल रघुबर पुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। और देवता चित्त न धरई, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई, संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई, जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई, छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा, तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, कीजय नाथ हृदय महडेरा। पवन तनय संकट हरना, मंगल मूर्ति रूप, राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसहु सुर भूप। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय।
Jai Shri Ram, Jai Hanuman. Thank you, Bhaiya, once again. Thank you, sadhaks. Do come back next week, because then you will be in level 4 and you will be receiving some more gyan from our Vikas Bhaiya. Jai Shri Krishna. Have a beautiful, blessed and blissful weekend. Thank you so much. Jai Shri Krishna.